Welcome to this presentation. My name is Michael Kai, and the Michael Kai franchise is designed for the best brand of the football industry, whether they are professional teams, to be the champions of the World Cups, the Champions Leagues, the Continental Cups, if they are national teams, and kind of professional premier, second, or third league. We want to help your team with content of the football energetic intelligence we have developed for you to be the brand to win the titles. The first thing is to be champions. So how? You will discover in this presentation how these Michael Kai franchise all contents are making sure that you is going to develop the game required to win, talking about the football content. And then the energy intelligence also required by your brand. Also within the Michael Kai franchise, all contents, this energy intelligence for your players' health, development, management, how the awareness of life energy intelligence makes sure that as a football club owner, as a football club chairman, as a coach, as a sport director, and most importantly, as a player, you will stay healthy, even you take risk on a daily basis while on the pitch. So this is the main mission of the Michael Kai franchise, is to serve, to start with, the best players, the best teams of the football industry, to win titles by being healthy or serious people owners, and the best tactical and technical players owners. That's the thing. With one mission, to demonstrate to the community, to the masses, to the people who are looking at your games, who are cheering for your brand, admiring the stars of your teams, for them to copy and paste the energy intelligence represented and applied by the players of your professional and national teams. The goal then for a national team like France, and the goal of the Michael Kai franchise, obviously, is to help a team like the French team to win this current FIFA World Cup 2006. At play at the minute I realized this video. And I have already demonstrated personalis of Paris Saint-Germain, of the cura personalis Michael Kai realized for your team, for it to win the best title. And PSG did win the European Champions League title, which is something they couldn't do for 40 years. And the goal of that, and the economical mission of the Michael Kai franchise, is to make sure that your brand is going to help develop trillions of dollars, only talking about the football industry, by developing the same way we develop the best players of our planet, but helping the people of your community to become the stars of their life, to being aware of this energy intelligence that they shouldn't ignore, but still are not aware of so far owners, or very few of us, unfortunately owners, are aware of this energy intelligence. That is what you all need to know to be healthy mentally, emotionally, physically, physiologically, professionally, and financially. So this is the core mission of the Michael Kai franchise. Even if we are using our competencies, our expertises, in the football, and then in the football industry, obviously, to demonstrate by winning titles that those products are very good for everyone on earth. With one goal, very simple, very in the timing of a specific need so far, is to produce on earth a living of loving intelligence and peaceful intelligence. The awareness of life, which is loving universal intelligence, is enough for us all, while we understand life principle, life loving universal intelligence, to know that our emotional, mental behaviors are responsible of what we are going to see physically manifested in our life. So basically, we all are co-responsible because of our mind and emotions. At creation, every second, we are using our human powers to co-create with life, energy, intelligence, our physical world. So, and the best way to demonstrate it to myself first, starting 30 years ago at 20 years old, was the game of football itself. Because you need to be healthy, you need to be aware that your mind is at work while winning or losing a game. And because you have game at practice where you can win or lose, because you have game on a weekly basis, starting from the academy leagues, youth leagues, and even when you become professional, you can play 2 or 3 games in a week. So we consider at Michael Kai that every game is giving the result to a roster, a national team selection, the result of their mental and emotional behaviors preparing this game. So in between the last game they have played and this game coming, they are playing today, for example, for France and Morocco, facing each other tonight. And the Michael Kai franchise contract is the first thing that you need to sign if you want to engage yourself to be a champions as a team, and also to be at mission of education of your community with the right energy intelligence contents. So this gives also, from your match analysis, not only the cura personalis of your team, from the videos of your game, which I do realize myself. So even from distance, for you, the football club owner, you, the football club chairman, and you, the football association chairman. For you to manage with those cura personalis, your team, to become successful, and also to have 3 products for your players, talking about the Michael Kai contract, taking care of the energy management of the professional career of your players, but also your coaches, your sport directors even. And then the second product, talking about business, which is the MKI companies that you can also sell to other team but yours, giving the insurance that the team that is going to be at work, at training, is going to be the right one to entertain by winning, but also by playing the most efficient team game. And then obviously the third product is what I name the franchise, which is by nature to sell companies and contracts. When you are a franchisee of a big brand of the football industry, of Paris Saint-Germain, for example, you are going to be selling contracts to your own players, selling companies to your own teams, and selling also franchise to other clubs in your locality, in your town, or in your region, in your nation. So produce for a big worldwide World Cup brand winner, trillions of dollars of players, obviously, of teams, obviously, talking about the football industry, also all businesses in others industries. Every player and every people on earth alive is of an important value if you help them recognize their divine talents, if you help them to develop their talents into professional expertise, deserving that then or being and making sure add value to their community need. We at Michael Kai helping and adding value to your football clubs for your team to play the game, for it to be the champions of their league. So adding value for the health of your players, your coaches, your sport directors, and even yourself, health. But you are going after us to help your community to become healthier professionally, financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, physiologically. Talking about the football industry, this industry is in need of being aware of the key performance indicators of the player's economical financial value. Yes, we have designed 30 years ago the scientific didactical engineering where the know-how are all content players should be having under their control if they are professional. But also what kind of tactical, technical game principles they should apply when having the ball, when and not having the ball attacking yet. What should be at play in their mind for them to make the right choices, both tactically and technically? So we have three categories of KPIs. The individual KPIs, who is measuring the way a player takes care of the ball technically while playing with having to face its own opponent. So how you are efficient because of your opponent presence with the ball and with your steps. This is the individual KPIs. And then the collective KPIs measures what you do in relation with your teammate with the ball, without the ball, attacking, defending. And then the third KPIs, that is called in French the finition. So how you end your ball possession by a kick of the ball to produce a ball trajectory with the idea of maximizing the chance of scoring an assist or scoring a goal. So when you measure that with repetitions, games after games, for each one of your players, whether you are professionals or academy players, academy teams, you know exactly what kind of value represents for your brand, for your club, for your company, for their contract, your players. And you can obviously follow and promote transparency in the transfers of your players, selling and buying them the right price. That is very transparent and indicated by the key performance, the rates that are produced by your players. Like this, the last World Cup, Messi did produce KPIs to measure its financial value in dollars. That was $172.5 million. That's what Messi did realize in Qatar, game after game, in KPIs. And then when you own those KPIs, when you are able to measure your players' KPIs at each play, then you can follow from the youth academy system of your club, from the academy, post-academy, professional, third, second, Premier Leagues, up to the Champions League players or World Cup players, national teams players, their KPIs. So you are able to measure what national players value your nation has created. As a professional big brand of the football industry, if you sell franchise to other clubs in your community, especially if your community is a worldwide community like Paris Saint-Germain, you are going to create a group of clubs and teams of players with players' value billions, helping other clubs, not only yours, to develop players worth millions, teams worth billions, and clubs worth billions up to trillions if you are professionals. So you are going to make rich by selling the content of the Michael Kai franchise used by your team to win in order for others to apply that same KPI training method and that energy healing method everywhere that people are loving you. Well, the first product is an educational one, a training one, and it's sold to the players of the football industry. Your club to own the player as you do now, but also to, through that contract, follow your players in a continuous training improvement and energy healing for health improvement also along the duration of your player's career. Meaning that when you are a club, even an amateur or semi-pro or whatever, as soon as you have been franchised, you have signed your franchise contract, you are going to be able to use the players, people at the club, for you to help them to energy manage success in career. Meaning that you are going to continue to own through that your players' image rights, your players' sports rights, being and selling to your players a service against 30% of their salary when they be professional. I did that myself when I started 30 years ago, my little business management sports energy, following, let's say, between 20 and 30 professional players' success. So now the club, you're going to be able to realize the same kind of business I realized with my young brother years ago, but for the health and the business of your own football club. You are going to keep those players' contract yours, your players for their success and helping the professional clubs having purchased your players to realize the best with your players. And then it starts with a pre-academy Michael Kai contract when you're not 13 years old yet. So U7, U9, or U11 players, you need to this $4,000 content called Football Individual Performance, TGCC. So it's to help your players to develop and create the right TGCC KPI, TGCC meaning the right gestures trajectory and the right parameters of contact with the ball and even contact with the pitch. So how to help your players from the pre-academy and youth system of your club to develop and create the right gestures trajectory for them to be able one day, starting when they play pre-academy games, obviously, to play the right gestures when contacting the ball for them to be able tactically, technically, to play the right game. And when you arrive at the academy level of the football industry, so let's say U13, U15, U17 leagues, teams, then you need that $7,000 football individual performance, a new second method called the SMTC method, which are taking care of your players' intentions while playing. What are the tactical principles that will help your players to structure mentally the right choice of trajectories, where the players moves, goes, with what intention in their game, tactical intention. This is what an academy player should be trained at for him to be able to play the right game and keep his chances to satisfy the KPIs that will be required, not only in his academy leagues games, but one day maybe if he becomes professional. And then when you reach the post-academy levels, you need, for the players having the Michael Kai contract, to feed them with the third football individual performance training method, called the SPVR method, which is the one I have developed myself when engineering the football best methodology for players' improvement. That was my first business, for them to create the right ball trajectories. So you have three types of trajectories that your players should be having the control of, which are the gestures trajectory when they play the ball, but also when they are running, when they are defending without the ball. The player's trajectory, so where do they go with the ball, without the ball, attacking, defending. And here with the SPVR method, what kind of ball trajectories they should be creating, considering obviously the technical part of the sort of gestures that they need to produce to send the ball where they want, with what kind of trajectory, what trajectory form of the ball. So what kind of intelligence, perceptive intelligence, and what kind of tactical intelligence, structuring, programming, visualizing, and realizing mentally those ball trajectories. So those three methods are part of the content that you receive when you signed a Michael Kai franchise contract for your brand, your team, your club, to use it on a daily basis. Having said that, you're able then to sell 49%, to trade 49% of your players' contract to some professional clubs, whether they are Champions League clubs, Premier League clubs, Second League clubs, or even third or fourth leagues clubs when there is fourth and third professional leagues, for your players to receive salary against their competencies, and for your club to sell 49% of the contract that you own the shares of to the professional clubs who are going to be using the sport awareness, the sport performance of the players that you have been training, educating, and healing along the way for years, against when they are pro, 30% of the sports revenue, so their salaries, and 50% of the players' sports rights, which are represented by those 49% of the players' Michael Kay contract that you will sell to the professional clubs that will employ one of your players. And then there is a second part of the Michael Kay players contract, which is the educational part, the energy intelligence program that you provide on a weekly basis to each one of your players having signed with your brand, with your club, their contract, for them to receive this energy management for their professional career success, this energy health management for their physical, mental, emotional health, and also the KPI training, continuous training required by your players individually, game after game, for them to receive a new program after each one of their game to make more efficient, or as efficient as possible, as much efficient as possible, the KPI content they need for them to train well, even when they play in a professional club far from yourself. This is the best part of the franchise new ecosystem of the football industry. It's helping you to give the right content, even at distance, remotely, electronically, for both the health and the football of your players, with a goal to help them to well energy manage their professional career, so their professional success. And that energy management of their health is considering three categories, three levels of health. When you're a pre-academy player, it's time for you to educate your players at that level to be aware of their professional talents. They're not professional yet, obviously, they are young, but they should be aware of their natural talent. And this is part of the educational program. And we also, for $4,000, teach you, along webinars and seminars, how to take care yourself and help your players to take care of their vibratory frequency. Their professional body vibratory frequency is responsible of their professional health, so their professional success. Yes, everything is energy, and all those microparticles of energy within your players, around your players, means you're healthy or not. So if your vibratory frequency is positive when you're a human being, so a player, it means that you are going to be using your best talents instead of, if your vibrational frequency is at zero or even sometimes negatives, you are going to be or ill or not in position to use the specific talents, natural talents you have become aware of with our Michael Kay franchise and Michael Kay contract educational content. And then when you reach the level of 13 years old, 15 years old, academy, Michael Kay contracts will be helping you then to be aware of the emotional and mental awareness that is responsible of the creation you're responsible of. Everything that happens to you, you have been creating it mentally, emotionally. This is what I call the energy intelligence at work in our life, whether we are aware or not of the life principles. So at that level of age, the academy leagues players, they need to become aware and well trained, well educated in how the energy bodies of themselves are responsible of their mental and emotional behavior, so health. So you need to teach them with the Michael Kai franchise content this energy intelligence that is at work through their mental and mind and emotional power. They need to be then cleansed as often as possible, let's say monthly at minimum, from any kind of pollutions that those atomic, divine, mental, umbral, astral, and vital bodies constituting the physical body, which is the end product of the energy bodies of someone. And when those energy bodies are not vibrating well, so we are going to teach you how to measure the vibratory frequency of even the energy bodies of yourself, but also of your players, obviously. For you to teach them and to be aware what are their mental, emotional need on a weekly basis for them to improve in their educational performance, in their energy intelligence performance. You will help them understand through playing the game that the way they think, the way they behave emotionally, the way they react mentally and emotionally is creating what their present is, but also what the future game is going to be about. And when you become almost adult, you are under 19, under 21, under 33, 23 years old players, then you need to become fully responsible of your physical health. You need to take care of all anatomic part of your physical body, and you need to anatomy of your physical, but you need also to become this at work, energetically talking within the physical body of the player, anyone on earth, in order for you to be co-responsible of your physical health, for you to know and discover that it's not by a lack of chance. It's not because you couldn't have done something before it happened. You should have. And that post-academy Michael Kai contract, physical body healing method for a $10,000 value will give to your club the possibility and the method for you, the healing method for you to help your players to apply it to themselves. Only us as a player, us as a trainer, or any kind of persona, we should be responsible and independent, autonomous when taking care of our physical body. Lots of big names like Mbappe, the best players of our planet, are actually demonstrating that they are having something under their control, their health. It's very rare when Messi is unhealthy. It's very rare when Cristiano Ronaldo is unhealthy. So due to them showing up and demonstrating to the community of theirs that being healthy is a work. Being healthy is a mind and emotional work. Healthy is a disciplinary on a daily basis with the right energy intelligence content, which I represent and give to the clubs who are signing their Michael Kai franchise contract for them to follow their players with the right educational payment system. Giving to their club, to your club, to you, the franchisee, the possibility of a nutrition, of a player value that will stay at your club. The 51% of the Michael Kai contract is owned by the MKI company of your club that is included in the Michael Kai franchise contract. As soon as you sign a contract, you have the company of your club that is going to be the owner of 100% of the contract until you will sell to a professional club the sport rights of your players against 49% of your contract, but you will keep at your club within your MKI company % of each professional player you have under contract working in the professional football industry, meaning that your club is going to be owning players in Champions League $100 million when producing 70% rates in KPIs, $70 million if you are playing in Premier Leagues, $7 million if they play in second league, or even $700,000 if they play in third league, should I say. But very importantly, that educational system represented by a business structure called the Michael Kai contract that your players are going to sign under the name of your brand are going to make sure that you're going to remain for their career the owner of 51% of their business. Talking about the image rights, talking about sports rights, and talking about also, remember, the 30% of their salary, because you will be paid as a club by your players because they will having the deep desire to continue to work with you because you help them to make sure they are not injured. So you help them, they are well valued when transferred, and you help them to better serve their professional clubs against their salary. And you help also their professional clubs to make a plus-value when selling their players, I mean your players, to another professional brand. And this is making rich every amateur, academy, youth league clubs, semi-pro clubs, as much as that Michael Kai franchise, obviously, is the right ecosystem for a professional club to be sustainable, but also self-sustainable, but profitable. And then the second product, the Michael Kai company of your club, when you sign a Michael Kai franchise contract, we create the MKI company of your club with a swap that is included in the contract. A swap of 49% of your shares against 49% of the shares of the MKI company that we will create for your club. And that swap means two commercial debts. One commercial debt representing the value of your academy players if you are not considering the professional players' value, which is totally fine within the Michael Kai franchise contract. So we swap a joint venture or 49% against 49%, considering two commercial debt, seller debt for the MKI company and for the MKI franchise, which is the club itself. So it will generate a cash flow that your club needs as a budget to pay its coaches at work, to pay some players when your club is professional, to pay the educators in your academy, to not let people that are serving your club, helping your club to succeed at practice, make sure they are not going to stay without any salary. You have that Michael Kai franchise contract that is specifically designed for the football industry to start with, for your football clubs, professional, but also semi-pro and amateurs, to better serve your community in helping them to be more efficient, more competent, more aware, well-educated, for them to work so well that they will deserve and generate revenues for themselves. We all need to become as rich as possible for us to be free to be ourselves, to do whatever is right for us in our community. You know, so it's a financial and economical healing system that the Michael Kai franchise contract is providing to your club, but also, I repeat, because it's very important, to the entire community around your clubs. And that MKI company is the one that is going to sell the Michael Kai contract to your players, your coaches at your club, and entering a professional career as soon as they have signed that Michael Kai contract, sold by your MKI company. So when you're a local league club company, you are also going to receive the football team's new content that is needed by your coaches for in the scientific way the team work, using also the football individual performance content that you have bought at first, because you start with the MKI contract. So you buy $10,000, for example, the football individual performance content to start with, and then within the MKI company, you are also buying a webinar or a seminar for $40,000 for this one local league club, for you to play as a team the scientific right way, what a team should be play as football, to make sure that you are going to be winning the more game you can, playing the right game too, providing to your players the exact technical and tactical content they should be playing for your team and your coach to see the game they are looking for. So you have, when you play in a regional league club, the $70,000 content, if you want to be able to win the yours, that football team performance, SMTC, KPI training, and energy training. Why energy training? Because what you put in the mind of your coach, put in your mind of your players, are going to be visible, manifested physically in their game. If there is no content at work in their awareness, you're never going to see, or maybe sometimes, but by luck. Now it's not going to be by luck anymore when your players and your team are going to play the most efficient possible game, the most entertaining game the same way, because they go the same way, goes together, but you're going to be professional in the way you treat yourself, your coaches, sport directors, and players, and then, therefore, your community. So, as a National League club company, you're going to be receiving $100,000 football team performance SPVR KPI and energy training method for you to be able to become pro. You're in a national league. If you win a national league, you become a professional league. But have you seen the players' value you are generating, considering only 33 players of your club having signed their Mikael Kai contract, for them to be managed energetically by your club, by your expertise, with energy intelligence, for them to succeed, for the best of players of your local, regional, national clubs to reach out the professional leagues and clubs. So you will be making up to $21 billion, considering the transfer of 49% of the contract of 33 players of yours who would have reached the KPI rates requested to play in the professional league. It's all well measured. There is no mistakes here. When a club's professional recruits one of your players, they know what they're buying because you have the KPIs produced, you have the financial value valued, so they know how much they should be paying, they know how much plus-value they should be make when transferring themselves, that same exact players you would have sold to them. So it's a huge amount of trading when swapping 49% of your company with 49% of your club. Those commercial debts are paid by the transfer of 49%, the trading of 49% of your best players' contract, considering 33 players by club in 3, 6, or 9 years' time. Any amateur, semi-pro, local, regional, national club should be able to make revenues such as 2.1 billion when you're a regional brand, 210 million when you are a local brand, and even 21 billion when you are a national brand, usually semi-professional brand of the football industry. And those amounts are enormous, gigantic, if you consider the financial situation of yourself at the minute. I'm talking to you. This is because you didn't apply the right ecosystem, because you feel you don't have the expertise, so you don't have the self-esteem that you deserve as a football club chairman, owner. You need to know what you're doing, and because you know what you're doing and your people at work at the club knows what they're doing, you will produce those revenues, those turnover, because of the professionalism that you would have been invested in within your club. So that swap of 49% shares of your club against 49% shares of your companies is bringing 21 billion up to 21 billion with years for a national league team. 2.1 billion considering 33 players for a regional league club. And even $210 million for a local league club. It would mean that you would have positioned maybe 30 players of yours in 10 years' time that will pay you and remain in the capitalization of your club for 20 years or 15 years for their entire career duration, which is enormous, but tangible. You can measure, it's feasible, and that franchise contract is going to demonstrate it to you. and to yourself. Then, when you're a professional club, you sign a Michael Kai franchise contract, then you already a brand being a professional. So we are selling to you the possibility within the Michael Kai franchise contract to sell franchise to others. So you're going to sell franchise contract, MKI franchise to other clubs within your community. So if you are Paris Saint-Germain Football Club, you are going to sell your MKI franchise worldwide to at least one club per league, potentially, for you to help at least one club per league to be well represented as a brand worldwide, but not to become trillionaire only, but to make sure you will develop $1 trillion value for the other clubs to be millionaires, billionaires at least. Imagine what a professional club mission has become now with the Michael Kai franchise contract. So when you are a professional club, you are a franchise. We sell you the Michael Kai franchise contract, giving you the possibility to sell the MKI franchise product, the MKI company's product already presented, and the Michael Kai contract product to the people, the players at work in every club that you would have franchised. So when you are a second league club or group franchise, when I say group, it's not a multi-club ownership, but you are going to franchise under the umbrella within your community of your brand, other clubs but yours. So you are going to be potentially helping them to bring investors in and develop their own professionalism, helping your brand to create and generate the best players possible from every community where you have been franchised, where people, clubs, fans loves you. So if you are Saint-Etienne, for example, in France, a big name of the second league, you are going to be selling the franchise even in the entire French nation. So you are going to help just because you are a second league club named AS Saint-Etienne. Lots of clubs who are in love, fans with what you represent for them. Saint-Etienne is loved everywhere in every area of the French nation. So you're going to be making fortunes for yourself, but helping others to make a fortune for themselves, which is my mission, which is Michael Kai franchise mission. Make sure that the professionalism will generate salaries, revenues for every amateur, semi-pro, and professional clubs. The same way, with the same exact content at work, in relation, obviously, with the level of the teams, the level of the leagues, and the level of the players required to win games in those leagues. So a second league club group of franchise will pay $400,000 to receive the football club performance TGCC KPIs and energy training content for your club to develop its own content, its own digital content for the football individual performance for their players, the football team performance for the coaches, and the football club performance that is exact game, considering the scientific side of the game, obviously, considering the scientific side of the games at play for a player, but considering your own way of play, your own identity of football. So you're going to keep your players aware of the scientific football individual performance game. Your coaches, what is the football team performance didactical content at work, whether they like it or not. They will love it because it will help a lot your coaches to not have to yell on their players for them to run where they should be running, produce the trajectory they should produce to reach out the right contact and produce a tactical, technical ball trajectory requested by the most efficient game possible while trying to score. So as a second league club, you will be able then to 1000x the value that you have created within your clubs, considering your own team and your own academy. You are going to produce a $210 billion company value and club value, both, because you will be co-owning the other clubs of your franchise for a while, up until you would have helped them, like I will do with you myself, to reach out the level where you will be able to help people at work at their club or people of their community to become co-owner investors of those MKI companies and MKI franchise, wherever you would have franchised clubs. So it means that the football industry has revolutionized its ecosystem. Imagine $210 billion created just because you're a second league club, willing to help with your same expertise other clubs at lower levels in your locality, region, or here nation. And when you play in Premier League, you sign a Michael Kai franchise contract, you will be able to sell, obviously, the franchise product, the company product, and the contract product with a $700,000 football club performance SMTC KPI and energy method, which is another level of team play and another level of tactical awareness of your players, represented and needed when you want to play in a Premier League club who is willing to win a Premier League. All the content of the franchise, $700,000 for a Premier League club, will be at work with the goal to help your coach, its players, his staff, the sport director, to better know what they are doing in order for them to win the title. You always want to be the champions. You may not be a champions this year, but you have to give yourself, with the 700,000 football club content, the best chance and expertise, didactical content and pedagogical method at work for your team to win his league. This is what the Michael Kai contract aim at. We want you, being franchised, to win your league. And we sell a Michael Kai franchise only to one professional club per league. Why? Because we want you to become the champions with those franchise contract and ecosystem. Not mentioning here, because it's already done, the energy management of your players' health, the energy and intelligence at play, when you practice, and at work within your community as soon as you have become a franchise. To produce, as a Premier League club, a group of franchise worth $2.1 trillion, considering 33 players worth a professional level, so 7 million, 70 million, or 700 million per player value, considering the number of teams that you are going to be producing or help the production of those players with those KPIs levels. $2.1 trillion for the value of 51% of a company, and 51%, $2.1 trillion for 51% of your club when you're a Premier League club. Can you realize what the Michael Kai franchise contract helps your Premier League club to create and generate a fortune that you are going to be obviously sharing with the club and the people at the clubs franchised by you at work at the club. It's not the money that you're going to generate for you only. You're going to generate that value of shares for the owners of the other clubs, which is avoid the conflict with the FIFA rules that is not working so far for controlling, in order to control the multi-club ownership system. That Michael Kay franchise is the only one solution that protect the football industry and its club owners, its club communities, not only the identity of each one of the clubs, but making sure that everybody at work at the club or investing in those clubs are not going to be the same people everywhere. It's, we are talking about, politically talking, the centralization with the artificial intelligence of everything. This is exactly what's happening today. Few people are owning the world. And since they have heard about my contract, my franchise, someone like Bernard Arnault, who was not interested in the football industry before, by luck, him and Mr. Niel, two billionaires, have bought their Parisian franchise. Créteil for Xavier Niel and Bernard Arnault, the richest man of the country, has bought the Paris Football Club. Why? Because he saw the franchise video presentation that I realized years ago in France, and he said, okay, we can make trillions. Okay, let's have the control of the football industry like we did and do control the luxurious industry, the industry of lux. That's not the way life is about, Mr. Arnault. And you, the political people, you, the French senators, who are legiferating, creating laws to avoid those problems, you, the FIFA system, who are not pretending, allowing the same people to compete each other. The problem is not only that they will compete against the brand they own themselves. The biggest problem is that only few people are going to be profiting of the revenues of the football industry, big names of the brand, right? Because they don't want to apply that system to you. I told you, but they will have, because I'm here. Why? Because I take one, I am the champions, every others will do the same. And I will not be the co-owner of everything, I don't care. I will help people to become the owner of the club, of their community, the clubs they love. With the expertise they will be able to apply for them to win. And if they win, they will become richer. They will generate players' value, turnovers that they never saw before. So when you're a Champions League club, it's even better because you can represent the franchise content and method to your continental people, selling the franchise not only within your nation, but also within the European continent, in order for you to develop up to $21 trillion players value within the group of franchise that you would have created, not necessarily owning. You're not going to own everything, maybe at the beginning, but you are going to be